that I will watch, it's usually something which is older. It's an older film or an
Mhm.
older program or an older series, and that was going back to 1950s, 1960s, something like that. Uh, it was it's just more real for me.
Mhm.
Recently, I started to watch a
What?
TV series from the 1960s called Bewitched. Um, it's uh, it's a TV series about a man and a woman who get married, and
Mhm.
the man discovers that his wife is a witch, and that's it, right? That's the basis of the
Mhm.
TV series, and so there are or there were made. I don't know how many episodes were made. Lots of
Mhm.
episodes. It was like 25
Mhm.
minutes of
Mhm.
television a week,
Mhm.
and it gives you a window
Mhm.
into the world of the past.
Mhm.
I started to watch it because I wanted to watch something connected with Halloween with my kids.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I looked at all the modern films and things, and there was
Mhm. Mhm.
it didn't really have any educational value from my perspective. So
Mhm.
so I thought it would be good to go back and watch this old series and then compare life
Mhm.
now with life then,
Mhm. Mhm.
and talk about what is different and how things have changed and how maybe values are different and what hasn't changed. What things are still the same, because watching this, you you see how some things have changed, but some things haven't. It's quite interesting
Mhm.
because actually watching it, my feeling is that sometimes I feel that nothing has changed between the 1960s and now.
Mhm.
Nothing has changed.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, if you look at
Something.
technology, you
Mhm.
can say we're in a different place, right?
Mhm.
With that. But if you take away the technology,
Mhm.
nothing has changed. I mean, this TV series it's set in a small town in the United States in the 1960s where a man and a woman live in a house, and everything that's in their house is
Mhm.
no different from anything that's in a person's house today. It's no different.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's no different. There's nothing different.
Mhm.
Kitchen, bedroom, living room,
Mhm.
garden, there's nothing different.
Mhm.
And that's really, really interesting. For people who think that we've progressed and moved forward,
Mhm.
go back and look at this like 60 years ago and you compare it to today, and you can say nothing
Mhm.
has changed. Nothing has changed at
Mhm.
all. There's not really anything new, because in this series there's, if you take the kitchen for example,
Mhm.
there's a cooker and there's a fridge, and that's it. It's like if you go into somebody's kitchen today, there's a cooker and a fridge, and that's it, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing that's different, and so we think that we've moved forward, but looking at this, it's like there's nothing different at all.
Mhm.
The only
Mhm.
if the only thing that would be different is you could put today, you could say that maybe the TV is bigger, or people have a
Mhm.
computer or a mobile phone, but what's interesting in this series is that there's no television,
Mhm.
right? so there's nothing to
Mhm.
compare it to.
Mhm.
And yeah, we sometimes we think that we've made a lot of progress, but
Mhm.
if we look back at this little picture of how life was, I mean, obviously it's not real. It's a TV comedy, but it is a mirror of a lot of things that were real at the time,
Mhm. Mhm.
and also the value system in families.
Mhm.
Because to be on television in the 1960s, you had to have certain
Mhm.
standards
Mhm.
for family television. And so it's interesting to see what those standards were. And I can tell you something else I can tell you. The script, the dialogue
Mhm.
is brilliant
Mhm.
between the characters. And if you
Mhm.
compare it to modern
Mhm.
dialogue is just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
In every line that the character says in this old series, every line, every word is important.
Mhm. Mhm.
And very much you can look at a modern series and
Mhm.
the words don't mean anything at all. I mean, you can probably follow what's happening without following the words at all, without understanding any words. Yeah, because
Mhm.
the way that things are filmed and and, and stories are scripted. But you really have to in the old series you have to listen to the words carefully
Mhm.
to understand what is happening. And we don't have that now. It's just it, it's better in my opinion. It's better than things now. The quality is
Mhm.
different. It's a higher quality.
Mhm.
Uh, it's like what's it like? I don't know. It's like comparing a whole home cooked meal to frozen pizza or something. I don't know, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right, like the modern version would be frozen pizza, and the original version would be this home cooked meal. And and of course it's partly fantasy, but if you take away that fantasy element and you look at how it's constructed, it's really nicely done, and it doesn't happen anymore.
Mhm.
It doesn't, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there might be something somewhere. I don't know everything that's going on, but TV to me just seems very dark in its
Mhm.
topics and its subjects,
Mhm.
and maybe naturally so because they've run out of ideas. It's like
Mhm.
because what new can you do? Not
Mhm.
much. You can only get more dangerous and more violent and more aggressive and have bigger
Yeah.
explosions and more guns and
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, no. I don't watch such films. My husband too.
well, exactly. And then there's no, you go back to the original series. There, there's no over drama.
Mhm.
There's no guns. There's no drugs. There's
Yeah.
no there. These negative elements are not there, and it's actually if you're thinking, it's actually interesting to sit and watch
Mm.
because because the people who made it thought about what they were doing. So some of the old things are good. Some of them. So that's Bewitched from the 1960s. Uh, nice little bit of fantasy.